A house is a flag, a billboard, a glowing sign that screams, resources inside. When society collapses, walls don't protect you. They advertise you. Windows become weakness. Lights become confession. Sound becomes invitation. And every idiot with empty pockets starts scanning neighborhoods the way predators scan herds, looking for the one that stands out. A gray man house isn't a home. It's a lie. A quiet trick played on desperate people who are too hungry, too cold, too emotional to think past the next hour. You don't fortify it. You erase it. You don't defend it. You dissolve into the background noise of a dying world. The first day sets the foundation. The collapse just started, and the city is wobbling between denial and panic. You're not joining either. You're eliminating every signal that you exist. It starts with light. The brightest sound in a blackout is a window glowing like a trapped ghost. Cover everything. Layer blankets, cardboard, trash bags, aluminum foil if you have to. No leaks. One pixel of light can betray you to the kind of people who will tear a door off its hinges for half a can of soup. Then you attack noise. Humans are acoustic disasters. Footsteps, doors, cabinets, bags, all of it travels twice as far in cold air and empty streets. You retrain your movements like you're living underwater. Slow, deliberate, predictable. Finally, scent. Collapse sharpens human senses because desperation rewires biology. Your cooking, your trash, your hygiene products, all of them become chemical invitations. You neutralize everything with distance, ceiling, isolation. While the neighborhood screams, argues, searches for news that isn't coming, your house begins to fade. Not fortified, not defended, just unnoticed. The gray man philosophy doesn't start with blending in. It starts with erasing the version of you that ever thought safety came from being visible. Day one ends with silence. And for the first time, silence feels like armor. By day two, panic has evolved into reconnaissance. People open doors not to check the weather, but to check each other. They lean out windows. They whisper. They observe who's moving normally and who's moving like prey. This is the day when instinct starts replacing civility. You feel it in the air. The city is becoming a giant organism searching for weaknesses. A gray man house must not give off the scent of preparedness. That means no visible generators, no smoke, no light, no trash output, no movement patterns that look intentional. You can't look like someone who planned for this. That's a death sentence. Your behavior becomes camouflage. You mimic the helpless. You match the neighborhood energy. Slow, confused, frustrated, conserving. Not eager, not organized, not capable. If someone glances your way, you're just another civilian waiting for the grid to return. Inside, your operations become surgical. You eat cold if you must. You cook only once, compressed into a time window when others make noise. You never boil water when the neighborhood is quiet enough to hear cutlery from 3 houses away. And your house? It becomes a negative space. Curtains stay still. Shades stay down. No shadows move across windows. No footprints appear in fresh dust outside. No signs of routine. Routine is the enemy. People outside wander like confused animals, tapping into a primitive radar for who might have more than I do. You let them look, but they won't see you. Because today is about disappearing into the mental inventory of your neighborhood. The unofficial ledger of who looks like a resource and who looks like background noise. You become the latter. A structure with no story. A house their eyes slide past like a dull rock in a riverbed. Day two ends with the first real separation between you and them. They're hunting for signs of stability. You're erasing every trace of it. Hunger is the great equalizer. By day three, it's knocking politely on everyone's skull. That's when neighbors, the same people who once borrowed sugar and waved from their driveways, begin to transform. Not into villains, into competitors, into liabilities, into heat signatures wandering too close to your invisible perimeter. A gray man house isn't just hidden visually, it's hidden psychologically. Nobody should remember you as the person who might have something. So today, you rewrite their memory of you. If you must go outside, go once. Move slowly. Look tired. Look lost. Look underprepared. The worst mistake you can make is looking competent. Competence is currency, and currency invites extraction. You maintain your house's brokenness, a sagging curtain, a crooked trash bin outside, A few items deliberately placed to signal uselessness. An empty water jug, a dead flashlight, a blanket draped like someone gave up halfway. Not staged too neatly, just enough chaos to look authentic. Inside, you fortify in silence. Reinforcements go behind existing structures. Extra locks stay hidden. Any defensive tools remain invisible from every window, every angle. A well-prepared home is a spotlight. A struggling home is camouflage. Meanwhile, the neighborhood sounds change. Fewer arguments, more searching. Doors tested, gates rattled. People walking with slower footsteps. The kind of steps that listen between each step. Your goal isn't to be the strongest house. It's to be the least interesting one. Predators, human or otherwise, don't want a puzzle. They want an opening. They pick houses that look like they have something. Yours looks like it hasn't had something for a long, long time. Day 3 ends with the scent of hunger drifting through the streets like smoke. And you remain a shadow. Every neighborhood has an invisible map. Who lives where? Who has kids? Who works nights? Who's predictable? By day 4, that map has dissolved. People stop thinking in names. They think in assets, location, opportunities. And if your house is on their internal radar, you've already lost. Today, you perform the equivalent of a digital wipe, but in the physical world. You remove yourself from the social memory. No appearances, no sounds, no silhouette behind curtains. You become the house that nobody checked on because nobody remembers who lives there. You reduce visual noise. Anything that could hint at activity. Moved curtains, opened windows, footprints in snow or dust becomes a liability. You move through your house like a ghost, refusing to disturb the fabric of reality. Thermal signature becomes your next enemy. Cooking is banned unless masked by environmental heat or other noise. A pot of boiling water is a lighthouse in a thermal desert. Instead, you rely on cold meals, insulated containers, chemical heaters if you have them. Not a single window should spill warmth into the night. Even your trash must disappear. Nothing leaves the house. Nothing enters the house. No deliveries. No smells. No trails. You are not a participant in this collapse. You are a rumor. And outside, the world grows sharper. The weak stay indoors. The bold wander with scavenger eyes. The reckless test every abandoned home. The organized begin mapping which houses are worth returning to. If you've done it right, yours falls into the category labeled empty, useless, not worth the trouble. Day 4 ends with a truth. The safest place in a collapse isn't a fortress. It's a house that nobody cares about. Random desperation is dangerous, but organized desperation is worse. By day 5, groups form. Some for survival, some for dominance, some simply to take what they can't earn. Tactics evolve. Scouting becomes systematic. They're no longer just wandering. They're assessing, ranking, marking. This is the day your Gray Man house earns its title. Groups evaluate houses by patterns, any sign of heat, blocked windows, improvised barricades, fresh tracks, visible resources, stable smell profiles, regular movement. If they see preparedness, they see opportunity. If they see fear, they see access. If they see abandonment, they see quick loot. But if they see nothing, absolutely nothing, their brains slide right off your existence. Humans ignore what does not stimulate them. Your house is a void, a dead pixel, a structural silence. Inside, your routine is now pure discipline. You ration everything. You move as little as possible. You treat every sound like it's being judged. Even a dropped spoon could draw attention in a silent neighborhood. Your psychological edge is simple. You observe them. They do not observe you. Behind blackout curtains, through peepholes and tiny slits, you track their routes, their timing, their behavior. Knowledge becomes your only weapon. If they test doors, yours looks stuck. If they shine lights, yours looks dusty. If they listen for sound, yours breathes like a tomb. Day 5 ends with predators circling, but none stopping at your foundation. The Gray Man house survives not by strength, but by invisibility. By the end of the first week, the neighborhood is a carcass picked over by desperation. People have stopped hoping for rescue. They've shifted into instinct. Houses are no longer homes. They're evaluated as shelters, traps, or targets. A Gray Man house should register as none of the above. On days 6 and 7, you let entropy do the talking. You stop adjusting your windows. You stop checking your exterior. The world outside must think your house has been dead longer than the blackout. Dust remains undisturbed. Darkness remains total. Activity remains zero. Your house becomes a fossil. Inside, you continue the quiet war. Conserve calories, sleep in warm pockets, filter water with primitive discipline, rotate rest positions to avoid fatigue injuries. Survival becomes mechanical, detached, precise. Groups still roam, but less frequently. Hunger slows them. Thirst weakens them. Their ability to search collapses faster than the infrastructure. They don't want a challenge. They want an opening. Your house offers none. By day 7, you're no longer hiding. You're blending with decay itself. Your presence is an afterthought even to yourself. The gray man mindset erases ego, emotion, identity. What remains is function. Breathe quietly. Move rarely. Exist without signal. From the outside, your house is just another piece of the dying landscape. Not threatening, not rewarding, not worth time or energy. And that's the goal. The collapse doesn't reward the bold. It rewards the invisible. The 7th day ends with a silent victory. The predators never noticed you were alive. And that is how you survive long enough to decide who you'll become in the new world.